Everybody in this room is going to come on through. It's going to be a phenomenal event, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal event. November 5th, Washington, D.C. The exact location will probably, I might announce that tomorrow. And I'm going to actually be in D.C. in a couple of days. Going to be doing some press stuff out there. So this is going to be a phenomenal event, man. Everybody is excited about it. And I can't wait for the family to come on out. It's very much needed, ladies and gentlemen. We need this. We need to get out here and let our voices be heard. And as you know, they have a lot of the political people. They're very nervous about this. They've been sending their operatives to try to disrupt our rooms, to try to undermine us, and we're keeping on, keeping on. We're going to do this and we're going to make history. This is going to be a history making endeavor, ladies and gentlemen. But let me get into the topic of what I want to touch on. As we know, Kanye West has been in the media, kind of going buck wild, saying some things, going in on some of the racism within the Jewish community, and he's been going in. He's been going there, and a lot of stuff he's doing is he's kind of spewing a lot of these right wing talking points. And the messages are kind of mixed. He's given a lot of mixed messages. He'll say something heavy and then he'll start regurgitating some of that alt-right stuff. So as we know, he was on Drink Champs and he said something to the effect of George Floyd, the knee wasn't really on his neck and he really died of fentanyl. He was saying something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing lightly. So the family of George Floyd, they're like, oh, hell no. They were like, nah, we're going to sue. Um, what exactly? Because it can't be defamation, right? Because George Floyd is dead and you can't defame a person who's deceased. So I'm trying to really understand what grounds they are suing on. Because it can't be defamation, right? Do we have any legal minds in here? I'm trying to really grasp what they're exactly suing for. But a lot of people, some people say, hey, that's what Kanye gets. Some people are saying, hey, what's up with this family going after Kanye when y'all sat around here forgiving everybody else, remember? And I do have a problem with that. Oh, I got a problem with that now. Because some of these families, they'll be out here buck dancing and forgiving everybody and hugging. And some of those family members were on that forgive stuff with Derek Chauvin and all of those people. They were forgiving. When it comes to white folks, everybody gets real forgiving. But then all of a sudden, y'all get buck wild and want to get at Kanye for some paper because of what he said. See, I can't co-sign that. I can't co-sign that. All your Christian values go right out the window when it comes to a black person. See, that's why I don't like that double standard thing. But that's just me. I kind of want the family to chime in on this. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about the family going after Kanye? And with Kanye, a lot of people are distancing themselves from Kanye now, which I knew that was going to happen. Nori and the Drink Champs, they took the interview down. They backed up off of it and started apologizing left and right. Um, on the interview, Kanye was saying some stuff about, yeah, Ice Cube inspired me to say what I'm saying, and Ice Cube then came out and put out a statement like, hey, I ain't got nothing to do with none of that stuff Kanye is saying. That ain't got nothing to do with me. All of that stuff they were talking about, I ain't put a battery in nobody's back. Don't drag me into this. You dig? See, Kanye is trying to scramble for some real support. He really doesn't have any solid support. See, the thing is, if you're going to go off that cliff, you better have a rock solid base to support you. Kanye really doesn't have a solid, strong base. He really doesn't. That white supremacist alt-right crowd, that's not a strong base. And I think he's realizing that. See, he thought that the Fox News people, he thought that, he kind of pander and cater to them. They would kind of hold him down. Fox News then let somebody leak out that interview they did with him. They let somebody leak out the whole thing. You better understand that Fox News crowd would turn on you so fast. Dude, you don't have a friend with these folks. That's not a real base pandering to that white supremacist crowd. That's not a real base at all. They'll look at you as a mascot, never a team player. You can only be a mascot with them. When it comes time for the championship trophies to be passed out, you're not going to get one. Y'all better understand when dealing with these suspected white supremacists. But let me have some of the family chime in. It's a lot of you guys up this time of night. It's very late and you guys are up. And all these people in here now, I want to see all of you guys in DC on the 5th of November. I want to see everybody in DC on the 5th of November. Let me get some calls in here. Let's get Q. Let's get Q in here. And then we'll get Ani Osaru. What's up, Q? You want to turn your microphone on, Q?
Yo, what's going on with you, brother, man?
I'm good, man. What's on your mind, Q?
I'm chilling. So I wanted to talk on a topic because around like a couple hours ago, I just finished a 3.5 hour interview with Kanye on Drink Champs, and I enjoyed it because there were certain things that he was saying for the most part in terms of challenging the construct, so to speak, if that's what you want to call it. But there were crucial things about like you were just saying, he's pandering to a white supremacist crowd, and that's never going to work. And he wasn't mentioning he didn't say white supremacy not one time. He was just talking about Jews and all that. So he's standing on where he's standing on, and regardless, he's still putting in work that I can respect, but he's also putting in work I cannot respect. So I'll just leave it at that. Peace, brother.
There you go. All right, thank you so much, brother. Let's get what's your name, brother? Ani.
Yeah, it's Ani.
What's going on, Ani?
What's going on, Tariq? Yeah, I thought he was bucking his eyes a little bit. I thought Nori knew what he was gonna do, and when he went on, when he did that phone call with 106 in Park, he tried to act like he didn't know what Kanye was gonna do. This is what he always does. He's looking for attention. And Nori was trying to get those views up on Drink Champs. Nobody really is checking that out. But it is interesting what's going on with the family, that they're doing that because the family didn't go through fully with the lawsuit. They just settled for the 27 million, and Crump got some of those crumbs. So it's very, very interesting. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right, but thank you so much, brother. Let me get let me see, Caleb. Let's get Caleb in here.
Yeah, I think when it comes to George Floyd's family, I think the reason they're suing is because they're trying to kind of like, they saw how much the families of the Sandy Hook victims got out of Alex Jones. Well, he got sued for like $1 billion. And so I think after seeing that, I think they're like, oh, well, if they can get that much money, maybe we can get that out of Kanye. Because I think he was spreading false information about the fentanyl. So then I'm thinking they can probably try to get him under emotional distress and like what they call it, false information, kind of like that family does Sandy Hook.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, man. It's very interesting that they would go there again, and these folks they go around forgiving and hugging and explaining and all of that stuff, and now with Kanye they want to get buck wild with him. What's up, Zohar? Hop on, Zohar.
What's up, Reek?
What's up, man? How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm good, man. What's on your mind, brother?
So I just want to say that you're on a mission right now, and you're a part of something bigger. You're being used as a sword to guide Judah, which is FBA, to the promised land. I just want to say you're doing a very good job.
All right, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Who else we got? We got a lot of folks in here. Let's get DHT Truth. DHT Truth. Hop on.
Hello.
What's up, fam?
Hey, I just think that we're getting to the point where the First Amendment right that we should protect and the right to have free speech is being infringed upon.
That's a good point.
It's getting
Very
to the
good
point
point.
where they can punish and shut people up by suing them. We don't agree with
Yep.
what you say. You don't agree with what we say, so you're going to get punished.
Right. Okay, I agree with that. That's a very good point. Should we, or should our people, our public figures, be able to, just use freedom of speech and just say what they want to say without the risk of getting punished? Because, well, when a lot of these white people say something reckless, do they get a slap on the wrist from their companies? You see what I'm saying? They might get a slap on the wrist. They might lose a sponsor here or there. They don't really get punished. Notice when these white people say something crazy about us, the biggest punishment they get is that they might have to sell their team for $3 billion instead of $5 billion, which ain't really no punishment. But what's their punishment? When they say something reckless about us, do they really get punished? All they do is get transferred. They don't really get punished. But if a black person says something reckless about an Asian person or a Jewish person, all of a sudden your damn bank account, you got to leave your bank. What the hell? When the bank start doing that? So now you got to take all your money out the bank? What? With all of these reckless white supremacists and politicians who say real reckless stuff all the time, you never seen a bank say, "Hey, get your money out of here." I've never seen that before. Even with some of the Russian oligarchs that they're kind of clamping down on, they don't do it like that. They have to have some kind of probable cause with them. They have to say, "Hey, look, you're linked up to some politicians, and they might be laundering money. So we're going to have to freeze your accounts so we can investigate." So even these Russian oligarchs who might be into espionage and um, covert warfare, they still have a certain level of discretion when they ding their accounts. With Kanye, he said something that they didn't like, and bam, just get your money out of here, Kanye. So it's a whole different playbook when it comes to us, you see. Now, again, I've had some criticism of Kanye. I thought that he could have had some more decorum with how he put his information out there. When you get to a certain level and a certain position, you got to play chess with this thing. You can't just be a kid and just say any crazy thought that pops in your mind. You understand? You got to have some discipline and some decorum. But if you do decide to say something crazy, what's with them going after your bank accounts? And I ain't with that either. I'm not with that. Even if you agree or disagree with Kanye, I damn sure don't agree with these people talking about, yeah, we're gonna get your money up out this bank and we're gonna shut your bank account down. Nah. Now they got a whole different playbook when it comes to us, and that I don't co-sign, because then we're getting into big time racial double standards. You see. All right. Let's get some more people in here. Let's get let me see, who is this? Woo, what's your name? Kai V, whatever your name is here.
Yeah, my name is Kyla, so on my at is Kai Y, and then I go by Woo on here.
Okay,
But
Woo, what's happening
I
with you,
just
Woo?
I just got in here, so just speaking to the title, I will say I don't agree with George Floyd's family suing Kanye, and that's not even to agree with anything that he said.
Right.
Um, but I think that with the country that we live in, they emphasize freedom of speech so much when it comes to things that people have to say about us black people. Um, all he did was use his freedom of speech. So whether we agree or not, I think it's a lot of a money grab move to sit here and sue him
Mm-hmm.
for his opinion on whatever took place. Although he is a public figure, he is not a lawmaker. His opinion doesn't really sway anything that matters. So
Right.
I don't really think that it's worth suing him for or trying to get, $250 million out of him. That's just kind of like a thirsty move to me. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, yeah. I don't respect that. 'Cause it ain't really about no justice. It's like the white folks are after him, so now let some black folks say let's dog pile and get us a piece of the action too. So yeah, I can't co-sign that. But let's get Tika. Brother Tika, hop in, brother.
Hi, Tariq. I'm speaking out of Dubai. I am a member of the International Migration Council. I'm a fellow,
Mm-hmm.
and I was actually speaking to a Saudi minister this morning, and we're kind of joking about this whole Kanye situation, and he said something very profound, which resonates with the previous brother who talked about freedom of speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this man said, he said, when you think about freedom of speech, if you want to have the power to have freedom of speech, you have to also be aware of who you align yourself with,
Yeah.
right? Um, when you align yourself with the right power, Kanye, for example, aligned himself with the Jews previously, and now he's angry at them. Before you go ahead and start insulting the Jews, it will be wiser for you to find some other power to align yourself with,
Mm-hmm.
so you can also have, you know, a presence. But when you don't, right, you either align yourself with your community or you align yourself with a bigger power. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
There you go. A good point. So yeah, the thing with Kanye, guys, Kanye. See, you have to understand when somebody's going in on a certain group, why exactly are they doing it? See, we have to look at the intent. Are you going in order to empower black people to kind of wake us up and empower us? I don't think so. Now, even though he might say something that's interesting, sometimes he might say something even profound, but I don't. He's not doing it for us. What it looks like is he tried to get in certain circles. He has the money, and he's like, even though I have all this money, these people are locking me out of certain circles. Damn it, I want to be in the circles with these people, and they're locking me out. So now I'm about to just go in on them and shame them so that they can let me in their circles. You see, that's not really about justice. That's just sour grapes. See, I go in on white supremacy. I don't want to be in their circles. I go in on the Rollins and the Boulay. I don't want to be in those circles at all. The last thing I want to do is be at a damn Boulay brunch or Congressional Black Caucus fish fry. That's the last place on earth I want to be. So I go on them because of their inaction to help black people specifically. You see, that's why I go in on them. Kanye's going on them because they didn't let him in the club, basically, and you didn't get let in the club, and now you want to burn the club down. Nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. Because even when Kanye was talking about, he was throwing shots at Meek Mill and throwing shots at Puffy and saying, "Yeah, f you to all my so-called friends because y'all weren't down with me when I was trying to get my wife back and all of this stuff." So Kanye wants to be in those circles. Kanye wants to be in certain circles. Let's get Infinite. Hop in, Infinite.
Hey, good night, Tariq, man. Long time follower and supporter, man. Even got my sister and family to get up on you and, everything you provide as far as, movies and things like that and education on things.
I
Uh,
appreciate that.
oh, yeah, we appreciate you, brother. I just want to say on the whole Kanye thing, I mean, you hit it on the head just now. Like, I hear people always trying to make some defense for Kanye, and it makes no sense to me ever. The dude has shown he is a tool of white supremacy. Why do people keep trying to give him leeway that he has long lost the extension for? Like when he's saying these things, he's not saying anything intelligent. It's
Mhm.
always some nonsense. And a broken clock is right twice a day. So it's like he's saying a lot of nonsense, and people keep, oh, he's so enlightened. And no, he's
Right.
not.
Right. It ain't that deep. A lot of it's not really it's not that deep. Some of the stuff he might say within babbling, he might say something profound within the babbling, and then you go back to babbling, and that nullifies everything. You know.
Yeah, he's like a more intelligent Herschel Walker. That's what he is.
Real
He's
talk.
he's a richer, more intelligent Herschel Walker at this point. And I mean, I know he has his mental thing or whatever's going on with him and all of that, but that doesn't excuse your anti-blackness, and that's the problem I have with him. He's black when it's convenient, but
Right.
then but when it's some real issue out there that concerns us, and he wants to use us and our pain for his own gain, then all of a sudden it's white lives matter.
Right.
No, as far as I'm concerned, and listen, I'm from Chicago. I'm here in Chicago. This is where I was born and raised. So I used to really have this dude back. Believe me, it took a lot for me to finally be like, fuck this dude.
Yeah.
He's not worth us continuously trying to make defense for him. He's not. Kanye has shown who he is after all this time. That mental health stuff has run its course. That's not what it is about. He is what he is. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I'm just done with him.
No doubt. Thank you so much, brother. But yeah, see with Kanye, see he does this thing like even when he goes in on Kim Kardashian, in one breath, oh, Kim, she kidnapped my black babies, and Kim wouldn't let me know where the birthday party was, and Kim did this, and Kim is being used. He started whining about Kim. She did this, she did that. She done kidnapped his kids, and Kim did this. And then in the next breath, I just want to get back with her and have a family. Oh, okay, nigga. All right. Well, why are you saying all of this stuff then, nigga? That's disgruntled baby daddy talk. You go in on her, and then you start whining about how you want to be with her. Yeah, moon, something. Pop on moon.
Hi, Tariq. Hello,
Hey,
everybody.
how are you, dear?
Tariq, I have been a long-time listener of yours. It's Moonrise, by the way. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. And George Floyd's family has every right to sue Kanye West. He talks too much. I don't care
Yeah.
that he's a black billionaire. He's not down for us. He never has been. I'm FBA all day, every day. And I've been trying to find like-minded people that think the same things I do. First, when I first got started, I was listening to Roland Martin. I'm not going to lie. I was listening to Roland Martin and all these political black shields. But then I listened to you and other new black media, and y'all saying exactly how we're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I want to say is that serial killer that's
Yeah.
been here in Kansas City, the black community has been trying to notify the police in September. They are not listening to us. They don't care. The police, they're so racist here. I don't think nobody's surprised, but Kansas City, Missouri is one of the cities that the police is just like Louisville, Kentucky. They are very, very racist. So we got these.
Wasn't there a cop there? There was a cop who was targeting black women, and they had to lock him up or charge him, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
10 different.
yeah.
Go ahead.
It was a big fat white cop out there targeting black women. You
That
heard of that?
the Kansas City, Kansas. Yes, a lot of his cases, almost all of his cases are being reviewed. Not enough of them though, but that was over in Kansas City, Kansas. They're just across state line. It's just a hop,
Got it,
skip,
got
and a
it,
jump from here. Okay,
got it.
so and a lot of black men are in prison right now because of him, and they're still in there. They're not gonna let him go, even though they know he's a crooked ass cop. I'm sorry, even though they know he's a crooked cop, these men are still in prison right now because of him. He's a
Wow.
liar. He lied on them. He planted evidence on these men. He was attacking black women. He was having sex with prostitutes, not paying them. So basically raping them. I mean,
Right,
it's just
right.
off the chain. It's off the chain. But I love you. I love you, Tariq. I love you so much. I do. I'm not gonna lie, brother. I love you. I love the new black media, and I'm gonna land my plan right there.
Are you coming to DC November 5th?
I'm coming to DC. I'm a nurse. I'm a black nurse. I believe that we need to save our black babies. Whatever I can do to lend a hand, Tariq, I'm there. I will be there, and I'm bringing my whole family. I got my whole family hooked on you, dude. I
Yeah,
do. I got my whole family hooked on you.
yeah. I can't wait to see y'all on the 5th. Thank you so much, beloved. I appreciate you. Let's get my sister Lioness crowned in here, Jade.
Peace, peace. Thanks for having me up, brother. I just wanted to speak on this topic really quickly and something that really disturbed me about this whole Kanye interview fiasco. And shout out to everyone in the room. I'm excited to see you all in DC on November the 5th. It doesn't bother me one bit for George Floyd's family to sue Kanye West. I feel like the comments he made against, the deceased brother George Floyd were not only disgusting and despicable, but they were also treasonous to the Black
Yeah.
community. And so that definitely empowers and puts the battery in the backs of white supremacists, these race soldiers and law enforcement, to continue to brutalize us. And also the legal system will back that up when you have a Black person on large platforms speaking in that manner, because, it definitely harms us as a community in general. And so, that family is going through a tremendous amount of trauma. They have been for the past couple years. And so I'm sure that this is adding more distress. And so it doesn't bother me that they are suing him, or that he's being held accountable for that if he doesn't cease and desist. And then I also do understand the other points that were brought up in terms of, like, Black Lives Matter, and, a lot of other comments that people have made in terms of whether, he's kept that same energy, or people keep that same energy against those other organizations. But Brother Tariq, I want your opinion on this. I heard Kanye say that he is jealous. He used the word jealous and jealousy multiple times during this interview, in terms of how he feels or thinks about the Jewish community. It really
Right.
disturbed me because it's an extension of, like, how broken and culturally dislocated the brother is, because the reasons that he gave of the jealousy, the unity in that community, the wealth in that community, etc., these are all things that, if we practice self-determination as Black people, as foundational Black Americans, we can create that same thing for ourselves in that community. So I just wanted your idea in terms of his use of the word jealousy, and if you feel like the brother is empowered. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, beloved. And my sister Jay made a very good point there. Kanye saying this stuff, using these white supremacist talking points about George Floyd, like, well, he died because he was a drug addict, which is that fentanyl. That's the fentanyl narrative. Well, he didn't really get killed. It was basically a form of suicide. That's a very despicable thing to say when we saw this man get killed on film, and it was telegraphed all over the world. This man was murdered. And a lot of white supremacists will use Kanye's words to hide behind. They'll sit up and say, well, hey, Kanye said he didn't get killed. So it ain't really about race because Kanye, and he's Black, Kanye said it. So that's a very good point. That's very dangerous what Kanye did. And also to speak on what Kanye was talking about, and he did say multiple times, he kept saying he's jealous of the Jewish community. He's jealous, he's jealous, he's jealous. Then he tried to clean it up and tried to say, well, I'm jealous because they don't kill each other and all. It got into some coon train talk. But that jealous thing means, it goes back to the point I made earlier. He's upset because he can't get into those billionaire circles with them. You see? He can't get into those billionaire circles. Y'all better understand, it doesn't matter. In a system of white supremacy, they'll allow you to get some money. You dig? But you're not going to get into those codified circles where they share certain secrets with each other and they kind of stay codified with each other. And that's for the dominant white society, period. Michael Jackson learned that. Michael Jackson learned that. They didn't let Michael Jackson into those billionaire circles. In fact, these billionaires that Michael was around, they all turned on Michael. You understand? The people, I want y'all to understand something. Talking about our brother Michael, the people who did those dirty documentaries about Michael with those lying ass um, scammers saying Michael did this, Michael did that. The people producing that stuff, these were people who were clicked in with Michael. These were people who were actually doing business with Michael. You dig? A lot of these people who was doing business with Michael, they would turn on him. What's that film company that Steven Spielberg, SK, what is that film company? SKG? I think that's the name of it. There's a film company that Steven Spielberg has with David Geffen. I think it's SKG, if I'm not mistaken, guys. If I'm not mistaken, let me double check. It's really DreamWorks. It used to be called FK. Shit. I think it was FKG, but it's now DreamWorks. Okay. Now Michael was involved with that early on. Michael was involved with that early on. He was in business with those guys. You did? Michael was with those guys early on. Yes, DreamWorks, SKG, Spielberg, Katzenberg, and Geffen. Michael Jackson was down with them. In fact, if you Google DreamWorks, the logo, and I talked about this before, Google the DreamWorks logo. It's a kid on the moon fishing. That's the same logo from Neverland. That's Michael's logo, guys. That's Michael Jackson's logo. Look that up. You see how cold the game is? That logo was on Neverland Ranch. You dig what I'm saying? These people were clicked in with Michael. It was a kid on a moon. And these folks turned on Michael big time. The very people who he was clicked in with turned on him. Because see, Michael was making some power moves, and they were like, "Oh, no. You can make your little money, but when you start making power moves, meaning you're starting to buy these catalogs, and now you're taking it a step too far. Now you're getting a little too bold. So you can't get in our circles." And I'm not saying that to discourage anybody from getting their paper. You should make power moves like Michael. You should make power moves like Kanye. I'm very proud of Kanye's business moves. Let's be very clear. But when you get into that game, you better understand what's really going on out here. Don't be confused about white supremacy. Do not go in the game confused about white supremacy, because just because you got some paper, that doesn't change white supremacy. You dig? White supremacy is real. Your money does not transcend that. Sometimes it kind of makes you a bigger target to a certain degree. Don't ever forget that. And laying up with these white folks and all that's not going to change anything. You are still under the system of white supremacy. Black people, don't ever forget that part of the game. A lot of times people get money and they get frustrated because that hurdle that you can't get over is white supremacy. That's the hurdle, you see. And I like to tackle white supremacy head on. I don't really like to divulge into, well, it's just Jewish. No, because that's dismissive, and that gives a hall pass to the white supremacists, the other white supremacists, by just putting it on one religious group. Now, are there anti-black racists within Jewish society? Of course, yes, there are. Yeah. But the problem is still systematic white supremacy. Anyone who is classified as white who practices white supremacy or anti-black racism. So we got to be very clear with the words that we use out here. Let's get some more here. Let's get Mojo. Let's get Mojo in here. What's up, Mojo? You want to turn your microphone on?
How y'all doing? My opinion with Kanye, I saw him put on that White Lives Matter shirt, and for a minute I was disgusted. It reminded me of Bill Cosby when he made the speech talking about us amongst a room full of white people. It reminded me of O.J. Simpson when he said he wasn't black. It reminds me of a lot of different situations where black people get up and speak about us amongst them. Now, with that being said, right, sometimes you have to dissect the message, and sometimes the messenger is way off because they don't know how to articulate themselves, and sometimes the listeners are not comprehending properly. Like another example would be Charleston White. Charleston White happens to say things that are actually factual. The problem with Charleston White is that he's antagonizing a group, a segment within our community of people that, he's antagonizing them. And with that being said, right, Kanye said a lot of things that were antagonistic towards us. And they let him on Fox News, and they put him on national TV because he was touting, he was towing the line, he was saying what they wanted to hear, right? And the minute he said something about a Jewish person, in any form or fashion, is anti-Semitic. If you say Israel is bombing the Palestinians, that's anti-Semitic. If you say it's wrong what Israel's doing to the Palestinians, that's anti-Semitic. If you say a Jewish person wrote out a contract and they robbed me, is anti-Semitic. No matter what you say about a Jewish person at any point in time, it can be factual and it's anti-Semitic. And with that being said, you have to really listen to what he said. Who owns the music labels? Leor Cohen. Is he Jewish? Does he write out the checks? Does he allow the rappers who rap about violence and shooting and killing to go on because he's making a check? It goes back to the Fox News thing. When it's all good, when it's against us and we're up in arms about it, they promote it. The minute he said anything towards them, it was, oh my gosh. But we were so angry at him for what he said about us in public, we didn't hear the other part. Now, everything that you said about him wanting to get into the Billionaires Club and all that other stuff, you're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. And people
Mm-hmm.
look at it and they say, he's only doing it for the money. That can very well be true. But that doesn't take away from the things that he was saying was also true. There was Jewish people in the room on that Drink Champs episode. It was about 4 or 5 of them. Steve Rifkin in the video got up, came over, hugged him and said, I respect you and I love you. Was he talking about all Jewish people, or was he talking about the Jewish people that control Fox News? Rupert Murdoch is a Jewish person. If you go down the list, if you Google any record label that has to do with rap, the one Young Dolph was on, you can name a bunch of them. If you Google the actual owners of the major labels that really control what is being put out, that is being promoted, they're owned by a Jewish person. So what he is what he was saying really not factual or off the rails? Is that anti-Semitic? Because do Jewish people as a whole do not control the banking system? Who owns JP Morgan and Chase? Who owns Bank of America? Who are the Rothschilds? These things that I'm asking, I don't, I'm not even telling you I know the answers to them all, but they are easily obtainable. You can look and see who owns the banks, the majority of them. You can look and see who owns the TV stations. You can look and see who owns MGM Grant. You can see who owns any one of them, Warner Brothers. They're owned by Jewish people. So when they allow, right, they allow black people to promote negative stereotypes about themselves, and it's cool, and we go along with it. But when somebody comes and says, hey, the Jewish people are doing wrong over here, now it's anti-Semitic. But to take that point a step further, right? Who told the Caribbean black people that American black people were lazy? Who told the Caribbean black people that American blacks were drug dealers or violent and all this other negative stereotypes? Now, mind you, my grandmother is West Indian. She was born in Jamaica in 1922. She was a colorist. She was light skinned, fair skinned, and she didn't like my black American father because he was dark skinned. Where did that come from, right? It came from the newspapers, the original media, the TVs, the things that America controlled back then and spread across the world. When people come to America, they have a like for us and a hatred for us. Who created that narrative? We sure didn't, because we don't own newspapers. We didn't own the Channel 7. We didn't own ABC, NBC. We didn't own the radio stations. We didn't own any form of media to control the narrative. And in the same sense, there are American black people on this channel right now listening to me. Who told us growing up that Africa, they were living in huts? Or who told us that African people were destitute and all these things that we just now find out about Africa is not the case? When they showed us commercials of the little black kids with flies going around their head and showing us that they were poor and destitute and we need to send them $1 because they just owe so bad. I'm not saying there's not places like that in Africa, but there's places like that in America. Who gave us that? Who gave us that narrative? the people that own the media, the channels, the channel sevens, the ABCs, the radios, everything, right? The newspapers. Who owns those things? So now we can call Kanye crazy, but you gotta dissect and listen to the words that he's saying. Like I watch Fox News, right? And I watch CNN. They both give up narratives that you can go back and forth and say, wow, this one is right or this one is right. Because a broken clock is right twice a day.
There you
You
go.
understand
All
what I'm
right, brother.
saying?
Let me land your plane, brother. Thank you so much. I'm gonna get some more calls in. All right, brother had a very interesting perspective. Um, I slightly disagree with the thing about like in the Caribbean culture, the colorism. It didn't come from the media over here. That did not come from the media over here, especially in Jamaica. Your grandmother not liking your dark skinned dad. Dad came from right over there. They started that nonsense, especially in Jamaica. In Jamaica, there was an uprising in the 1850s. What was this? I think the guy's name was Sam something. I forgot. There was a big uprising in Jamaica. They were rising up against the British. And what they did, the uprising got quelled. And the British started making deals. They said, look, some of the buffer groups, some of the lighter Negroes, we're going to make a deal with you. They started making deals with some of the lighter class Negroes there, which they didn't want to, but the lighter class Negroes helped stop the rebellion out there in Jamaica. It was the lighter Negroes who said, hey, y'all darkies, get up off white daddy. So the British had to make deals. They said, okay, we'll make a deal with you guys. We'll give you certain privileges and benefits. We won't treat you as bad as the dark Negroes, as long as you keep those darkies in check. We'll use you as the buffer class against those Negroes trying to rise up against us. Before they get us, they got to go through you. So they put that in motion out there in Jamaica in particular. And that mindset is still prevalent today. That's where Kamala Harris's family comes from, family. Kamala Harris's dad, he's a part of that class. You understand? That thing is real prevalent where these people who are quote unquote black, but not really black. They got all types of caste systems in the Caribbean, and that came from the colonizers there infusing that into their brains. But I digress. Let's get Del Monte Green Beans. Del Monte Green Beans. Hop on, man.
Yeah, how you doing, man? Can you hear me clear?
Yes, I can. What's on your mind, buddy?
All right, a couple of people they touched on what I was about to say, but it gives us a real good example on that J.P. Morgan Chase thing. Right after that, they're gonna kick you out the bank. Like, didn't they
Yeah.
do that to somebody else? Didn't they do that to somebody else like a couple weeks ago or something? Then they got rid of him. Then they got he can't use PayPal now or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They're going to try to go after his financial institutions, which is,
Yeah,
yeah,
that if they gonna do that to somebody that got more money than all of us, what that got to do with us? That's a
yeah.
real sharp example on the big picture, and that's all I got.
Thank you so much, bro. Let's get ATG. ATG.
Hello, how y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
What's Yes, we can. What's up,
So
brother?
I just gotta. Why are we talking about some of the other things he say? Why do we only reach the negative talking points that he says in this conversation? Because those really be the small points. Like he mentioned a lot about building communities, redoing architecture, planning for so we can feed ourselves. Why are we not talking about things like that?
Because he made a point to put on a damn White Lives Matter shirt and stand with Candace Owens, who's a vile anti-black tether. So that's why he overshadows all of the good with doing dumb shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Which I agree with that wrong, but I don't defend it. Like I wouldn't buy it, but I'm not about to bash nobody for doing it, because what's the difference? We live in a capitalistic society at the end of the day. So the goal is to make money to be able to provide your change that you want to see. So the NFL can release Black Lives Matter shirt just for profit, but when Kanye does it just for profit, it can be a problem. But can we attack the NFL just as much? That's all I'm saying. If we go attack
But
our
the NFL doing it because they want justice. What's white lives matter? What white lives don't matter? Ain't nobody doing nothing to white people in this country systematically. What's the purpose of that shirt?
do the NFL really want justice? Let's
Well, the players, damn near all the players are black and they want justice. There's some players who risk their careers to fight for justice. So, yeah, the black players want justice. The NFL are the black players.
I'm saying
You
that
know,
I'm
it's,
saying the
it's
NFL because
controlled
the
by
NFL are the ones that's releasing the shirt and we buy
right,
them, you know?
right. And that's because it was people in the community pushing for the NFL to not demonize the players for wanting to produce justice, like they did Colin Kaepernick. So that's why they went back and started selling the Black Lives Matter shirts, because they did Kaepernick so wrong. So they had to make amends. You see? And again, Kanye, he can say some good points, but don't mix it in with a bunch of garbage, because that spoils the good talking points you have. It's like you're going to cook a good dinner, but you're going to put it on a plate that has piss stains on the bottom. You dig? So, yeah, just
Yeah,
the way,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, I don't give a damn how good the steak is. I don't like this plate. This plate is horrible. You dig? But anyway,
Yes,
I feel your point. But
I
thank you so
also don't agree with his presentation.
much. Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm getting text messages in the middle of the night. All right, let's get a couple of more people in here. Couple of more people in here. Y'all raise your hand if you want to get on. Raise your hand if you want to get on. Who's ready to hop on? Raise your hand. Because I want to get a good call before I get up out of here. It's a lot of y'all up right now. Damn near 800 people up. What y'all doing up this late? It's LA is like 12:45 at night. And it's damn near 4 in the morning on the East Coast, and some of y'all on the East Coast. What y'all doing up this late? Buying crack? What y'all doing up this late or this early? Y'all better be going to work if y'all up this early. Y'all better be going to work or you better be at work right now. Y'all better not be up there running the streets at 4 in the morning. You did? Man, up here buying them narcotics. Let's get let me see who we got. Who we got? Let's get Steal My Beats in here. Steal My Beats. All right, what's up, Steal My Beats?
Yo, what's up, Tariq? I just wanted to ask, do you think that wearing the White Lives Matter shirt was intentional to get eyes on him? Like, not to say that he doesn't have a platform, but I feel like he was intentionally kind of stirring the pot, because I feel like that led to the whole Tucker thing, and he's kind of just been going ham since then. So I feel like it was kind of like a not a publicity stunt, but you get what I'm saying. Like, did it with intention to get the microphone on him. And I don't agree with everything, but I think he was spitting. Like, if you listen to the whole interviews, I think there's a lot that there's a lot to it.
Yeah, there was some interesting points. Thank you for the call. Yeah, there were some interesting points. Like there was one part where he talked about how, yeah, if you look at the top 5 rap records on iTunes right now, he said I can guarantee it's going to be anti-black. So why is something anti-Jewish and it has to be shut down immediately? But things that are anti-black are just normalized. So that made a lot of sense. But again, it's a contradiction because I mean he makes the same records. So damn. He makes the same type of records. So again, a lot of it was he'll make a good point, but then contradict himself in many cases. Again, just like with the whole, oh, Kim did this to my black babies. Kim kidnapped my kids. My kids was kidnapped. Kim is this. Kim is this. Oh, Kim is this. Kim is this. But I want to get back with her. I love her and I want my family back. No. When cats are doing that, when you just contradict yourself in the very next sentence, You know, the Jews this, Jews this, Jews this, Jews do this, but I'm jealous of the Jews. Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, the messaging is real mixed, man. It's all over the place. Yeah, I can't ignore the contradictions, man. I can't ignore the contradictions. And I want y'all to understand this too, because a lot of stuff people are like, well, he's doing it for publicity. He's just trying to get eyes on him. Look, there's a reason why he's hanging around Candace Owens. Why do y'all think Kanye is really hanging around Candace Owens? Let me give y'all some game, man. Why do you think Kanye is pandering to that white supremacist alt right crowd? Kanye, let me tell you something. Kanye ain't dumb. He might be crazy, but he ain't dumb. He know good and well that no damn George Floyd died because of no goddamn fentanyl. He knows he was killed, but he knows that that's a right wing white supremacist talking point that the alt right people use. He's hanging around Candace Owens because what Kanye is trying to do, he's trying to buy the website Parler. He's trying to buy the Parler app. He's about to buy the Parler app. That's an app used by white supremacists. In fact, they organized the January 6th insurrection on Parler. That's where they were organizing this stuff. That's where these white supremacists go to organize a lot of their attacks and all of their stuff. Kanye is trying to buy that site. And you know who the CEO is of that site? Candace Owens' husband. Her white zaddy is the CEO of Parler. That's why Kanye is kicking it with these folks. Let's be very clear, guys. Y'all better know all of this stuff. Google everything I just told you. Google all of it. The dude who owns Parler is Candace Owens' husband. And the bedwench Candace Owens. So, yeah, Kanye is trying to get clicked in with these people. He's trying to be on, he's trying to be like Elon Musk, you see. You know, Elon Musk gets to say a lot of reckless stuff, but they don't ding Elon Musk accounts. They're not messing with his damn bank accounts. Notice that? They're not dinging his account. So again, there's a reason why Kanye is spewing these right wing talking points so much. Because yeah, he's working with Candace and George Farmer. That's Candace Owens' husband. And that's the guy running Parler right now, which is a white supremacist website. Don't get it twisted. Parler is a white supremacist app. That's all it is. It's a social media app for white supremacists, and they got servers overseas where they got some tech guys, so you can say stuff on there, and a lot of it can't be traced. And again, that's why they were trying to organize. Well, they not trying; they did organize much of that January 6th stuff and some other stuff they organized there. But a lot of them still got caught. You did. They'll try to burn the servers or cook the servers so that when there's an investigation, some of the people in the conversations can't be caught. But they've still found ways to scoop up a lot of the intel from that site. Very dangerous website. So what's Kanye trying to do with that? You see, why's Kanye trying to buy a white supremacist website? You got to ask a lot of questions here. Now, some people could be like, well, damn it. And I'm playing the devil's advocate. What if he's trying to be the spook who sat behind the door? What if he says, I'm going to get this white supremacist website and own it and then flip it? I doubt if he's being Machiavellian in that sense. But again, you got to ask questions about this guy's motives, man. You just got to ask questions. All right, let's get one more good one because I got to get up in the morning, man. I got a lot of stuff to do. Still looking for some camera people out there in DC. All my DC people, we're still looking for some thorough camera people. In fact, I need a camera crew this week out there in Washington, DC. The thing is, we getting a lot of people who hit us up from other states. We don't want nobody from another state. If I'm gonna get somebody from another state, I just bring somebody from LA out there. We want somebody in DC. I know it's kind of difficult, but somebody in the DMV area, if you're a camera person, y'all email me. info@tariqelite.com. That's my email. All right, let's get one more call in here before I get out of here. Let's get Gene Fowler. Let's get Gene Fowler in here.
Hey, what's going on, brother Tariq?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Hey, Melanoid 300 member here from the beginning. I just want to say something real quick as to the last brother's supposed point. Kanye literally said that he didn't, or he wore the White Lives Matter shirt because his wife is white and her life matters. There's no conspiracy or there's no, oh, I'm doing this for a bigger cause. No, he told you. And this is the same wife whom he's complaining about. Oh, she's taking my black kids and blah, blah, blah. She kidnapped my kids. But he wearing the shirt just because of that. So this ain't no big conspiracy on Kanye and none of that. He literally told you why he wore the shirt. So
Yeah.
all of that, oh, well, he doing it because it is, you don't know, blah, blah, blah. Kanye's not this intelligent, far off, intellectual guy that they making him out to be. He's just not. And I lay my plane
Yeah.
there, brother.
Thank you so much. Yeah, man. So, man, let's be real. Sometimes Kanye can say something kind of profound, but yeah, a crackhead can do that too. Let's stop acting like Kanye is deeper than what he is. All right, the people are trying to pretend he's like an idiot savant or something like that. And, yeah, Kanye just kind of rambles, and he gets headlines, and you know, yeah, yeah, you can't really put too much stock in a dude who's basically running around here pussy whooped. You did. Kanye is pussy whooped, and his woman is out here banging the next dude, and this dude is emotional and just making emotional decisions based on being pussy whooped over a chick that didn't been ran through. Well, I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna disparage, but damn, nigga, you dig? Damn, bro. He ain't that deep, and no disrespect to Kanye, but he's not really as deep as people are trying to make him out to be. And I'm not trying to shit on Kanye. God bless him, and I like what he's done with his business, but Kanye will contradict himself at the drop of a dime. Let's get Christian in here. What's up, man?
Yo, man. Yo, thanks a lot. I'm glad you put the pieces together. He's just saying a lot of this stuff in order to appeal to a certain crowd. It's all it is. I love how you put those pieces together. But what I'm really here for, I want to let you put a bug in your ear or something very important. It's a new movie on its way out, and it's called Killers of the Flower Moon.
I know about that.
You already knew.
Yeah, that story is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, when does that movie come out?
At the end of this year, as a matter of fact, and it's starring somebody very important. I won't even say the name. I want everybody to be surprised. But you put that on us, and I was just putting that bug in your ear to keep that eye out on that for that very movie. I really want to see what the slant is going to be on the truth, though. I doubt it's going to be as deep as you let us know it really is, as the book lets us know it really is, or the true story is. But that's about it right there. Thanks so much.
Yeah, man. For those who don't know, the Killers of the Flower Moon, that's based on a book about a situation that happened out there in Oklahoma. These Native American women from the Osage tribe, they came into a lot of money, I think, because of the oil out there. There was a lot of natives and black people getting a lot of money out there in Oklahoma because of the oil boom. In fact, one of the richest girls was a black girl who became very rich, and they just basically took her money. The white people started saying, hey, they did some, they gave these black people certain plots of land. Come to find out there was oil on the land, and this girl, Sarah Rector, came into millions of dollars. And then all of a sudden, the white people said, hey, we have to manage the money. The state and the city, we got to assign somebody to manage the money. They pulled out a whole different white supremacist playbook on our ass. So they kind of finessed the money away from the girl. But with these Native American women who came into some money, I think it was because of the oil, these white men married into the family to these Native American women and started slowly killing them off so that they could inherit the money. Well, y'all better understand how deep and deceptive and devious these white supremacists are. I'm talking about they were marrying these women and having kids with them, and then they were poisoning them. And then the whole town, they were all in on it. The doctors were in on it. The police were in on it. What does that sound like? Yeah, that sounds like what goes on over here when we have serial killers running around black neighborhoods killing people. The police know about it. The prosecutors know about it. And black people are screaming at the top of our lungs, hey, 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 there's a serial killer here. Nobody's doing anything about it. Family, this is why we have to go to Washington, D.C. We need you in Washington, D.C., because this ties into our reparations. We need reparations. We need an anti black hate crime bill. We need funds allocated to us so that we can police our own communities. We pay taxes. We should be able to get city funded protection. That money needs to come to us so we can have our own policing firms. All over this country, black children are being harmed. Nothing is being done about it. Black women are being kidnapped from the streets. People are saying, hey, we are trying to find these kidnappers, and we're not getting any help from the city. This happens over and over again. We need resources from the state that we pay taxes to so that we can be a self sufficient people, so that we can be a protected people. We don't need fat, jolly, chunky ass Roland Martin and all of the boule bootlegs running around here talking about we just need to vote because we need to support immigrants. We're not going to keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We're going to stand and have a unified front and tell the world we want tangibles as foundational Black Americans. That is something that we have not done on a large scale really in a long time, if ever. We're going to do it on November 5th. That's why we need everybody there. Secret Sister, we need you there too. You crazy as cat shit, but we need you there too, beloved. We need you there too. We need you there in DC. We need everybody in DC. November 5th. Y'all start making your plans to come out to Washington, D.C. November 5th. All right, let me get up out of here, guys. I appreciate everybody tuning in. So many people tuning in tonight. A lot of people tuning in. Were there any tether spaces whining about me earlier? How many were there? Usually there's about 3 or 4 tether spaces where tethers are whining about me. That's good. I like that because we got to understand some of those tethers are great promoters. They promote the message. That's why my rooms stay so packed. They promote me. They're like my little bitches. I have them working the Twitter track. Oh, I'm rent free. I mentally abuse these tethers without even trying. So yeah, they're little spaces. They're not really Twitter spaces. Those are support groups for tethers. They have to get together and cope with the fire that we give them. You dig? They have to cope. They don't know what to do. That's why they whine, which is good. When they whine, that lets me know that I'm whooping their asses psychologically without even trying. That's a power move. When you sleeping good and you got a bunch of tethers in a room crying in the middle of the night. Why, nigga? Why, nigga? That's a power move, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get, that's where you want to be. You want to get to the point where you got tethers up in the middle of the night. Niggas ain't getting no sleep, ain't washing their ass, just sitting around whining about me, crying. That's power. You understand? Let me get Elevation in here. Shout out to my homie. It's my dude, Elevation. What's up, Elevation? Elevation, what's up, brother?
A lot of these folks is pissed off that we connecting the dots. That's why that whole Mexican Stefan Baines is going on and on and on because we discovered who's financing this Mexican. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, check your email as soon as you get a
Oh,
chance. I ain't gonna keep you on long, but check your email, right?
no doubt. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh yeah. We got Democrats. Some of these people are so obvious. They're Democratic shills. The shills get these dudes from these little organizations. It's always the same MO. They're so damn obvious. But they're not paying y'all niggas enough. 'Cause y'all doing a horrible job, and they're upset because they're about to get fired because they're not influencing nothing. These niggas about to get fired. That little money's gonna dry up. That little consulting money, where basically these little Negroes get paid to troll. We're going to see a lot of that in the next couple of weeks leading up to the election. These paid Democratic shield trolls. You're about to see that. You're about to hear tether whining off the chain. But it is what it is. That's why once you understand the game, you're not really affected by it. You dig? When you understand the game, you don't trip on that. Yeah, because we see how ineffective they are. But I digress, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, man, it's so many of y'all in here. I'll be back on tomorrow, man. I got a busy day tomorrow, but I'll be back on to chop it up with the family tomorrow. I say papi akute and lala vuve to the family. Peace.